In the heart of ancient Rome, nearly 2,000 years ago, there lived a man who ruled the most powerful empire on earth. His name was Marcus Aurelius. He commanded vast armies, governed millions of people, and faced wars, disease, and betrayal. Yet, what made him truly remarkable was not his power, but his mind. While other emperors sought glory and pleasure, Marcus sought wisdom and peace within himself. Each night he would write in his private journal, reflecting on virtue, duty, and the nature of life. These writings would later become known as Meditations, one of the most profound works of philosophy ever written. Marcus Aurelius did not write to impress others. He wrote to remind himself how to live, with discipline, humility, and acceptance. He believed that happiness depends not on what happens to us, but on how we respond. Today, his words still echo across centuries, teaching us how to stay calm in chaos, how to lead with compassion, and how to find strength through reason. This is the story of the philosopher who became emperor, and the emperor who remained a philosopher. Chapter 1. The Life of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was born in Rome on April 26, 121 AD, into a noble and respected family. From an early age, he showed a quiet mind and a love for learning. His teachers noticed his discipline and his sense of justice, qualities that would later define his rule. He was adopted by Emperor Antoninus Pius, following the wishes of Emperor Hadrian, and raised as his successor. This adoption marked the beginning of a long journey of duty and responsibility. As a young man, Marcus studied philosophy deeply, especially Stoicism, a school of thought that teaches self-control, virtue, and the acceptance of fate. He wore simple clothes, slept on a hard bed, and trained himself to remain calm under pressure. In 161 AD, at the age of 40, he became Emperor of Rome. But his reign was not a peaceful one. He faced constant wars on the empire's frontiers, devastating plagues, and the loss of people he loved. Despite all of this, he ruled with fairness and compassion, always guided by his philosophical principles. He shared power with his co-emperor Lucius Verus, and later his son Commodus, a decision that would bring both hope and tragedy. Throughout his life, Marcus never abandoned his practice of reflection. During military campaigns, he wrote his thoughts in Greek, often inside a tent surrounded by the noise of battle. Those notes, personal and humble, were never meant to be read by anyone. And yet, they became his lasting gift to humanity, the Meditations. Marcus Aurelius died in 180 AD, after nearly 2 decades as emperor. He left behind not only a vast empire, but also a legacy of wisdom, the example of a man who proved that true power begins within. Chapter 2. The Path of Stoicism. To understand Marcus Aurelius, we must first understand the philosophy that shaped his soul, Stoicism. Stoicism began in ancient Greece, centuries before Marcus was born. Its teachers, Zeno, Epictetus, and Seneca, believed that happiness comes from living according to reason and nature. They taught that we cannot control the world around us, but we can always control our thoughts, our actions, and our attitude. Marcus discovered Stoicism when he was a young man. He studied the works of Epictetus, a former slave who taught that the mind is free even when the body is not. This idea deeply moved him. It became the foundation of his life and his rule. As emperor, Marcus faced challenges that would have broken most men: betrayal, war, and death all around him. But through Stoicism, he learned to face these trials with calm and clarity. He often reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." For Marcus, philosophy was not something to talk about. It was something to live. He believed that the world is like a great play, and each of us is an actor given a role by nature. We cannot choose our role, but we can choose how well we perform it. Through Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius found peace in the middle of chaos. He practiced patience when others were cruel, courage when fear surrounded him, and humility when power tempted him. To him, true strength was not conquering others, it was conquering oneself. Chapter 3. Power, Duty, and Humility. When Marcus Aurelius became emperor, he inherited not only the glory of Rome, but also its burdens. He ruled the largest empire in the world, stretching from Britain to Egypt, yet he never allowed himself to be consumed by pride or ambition. Unlike many rulers before him, Marcus did not see power as a privilege. He saw it as a duty, a heavy responsibility to serve the common good. He often reminded himself that he was just one man among millions, and that his purpose was to act for the benefit of all. He wrote, "What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bee." To Marcus, the empire was like a living body, and every citizen was a part of it. A good ruler, therefore, must care for his people as one cares for oneself. Even while wearing the crown, he lived simply. He avoided luxury, ate plain food, and dressed modestly. He preferred to spend his time with philosophers rather than courtiers. During wars, he shared the hardships of his soldiers, sleeping in tents and enduring the same cold and hunger. Through his actions, he showed that true leadership is not about command, it is about example. He believed that the best way to inspire others was to live with integrity and compassion. Marcus Aurelius understood that every decision he made had to serve justice, reason, and humanity. He once wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." In a world full of corruption and ambition, Marcus proved that an emperor could also be a servant, not of power, but of virtue. Chapter 4. Mastery of the Mind. Among all his lessons, Marcus Aurelius considered mastery of the mind to be the foundation of a virtuous life. He believed that our thoughts shape our reality, and that peace can only be found within ourselves. He wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Marcus understood that we cannot control what happens to us, only how we respond. When people insulted him, he reminded himself that anger harms the one who feels it more than the one who causes it. When misfortune struck, he viewed it not as punishment, but as an opportunity to strengthen his character. "If you are distressed by anything external," he wrote, "the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This was the essence of Stoic strength, emotional control through rational reflection. He practiced observing his thoughts like a philosopher, separating what he could control from what he could not. Even as emperor, surrounded by chaos, he returned to this idea again and again. You have power over your mind, not outside events. By mastering his thoughts, Marcus found freedom. Freedom not from hardship, but from being enslaved by it. To him, the real battle was never against enemies or fate. It was against his own passions, fears, and impulses. And by winning that battle, he discovered a kind of power no throne could ever give. Chapter 5. Accepting Fate, Amor, Fati. For Marcus Aurelius, peace of mind came from one of the deepest Stoic principles, acceptance of fate. He believed that everything in life happens according to nature's order, and that resisting what happens only creates suffering. Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, he wrote, for what could more aptly fit your needs? Throughout his life, Marcus faced events that would test any human being: the loss of children, betrayal by friends, endless wars, and the plague that swept through the empire. Yet he never cursed his fate. He learned to see every challenge as part of a larger design, one that might not be understood, but could always be accepted. This idea later came to be known as Amor, Fati, the love of fate, not just accepting what happens, but embracing it fully, as if you had chosen it yourself. Marcus believed that when we stop fighting reality, we free ourselves from anger and despair. To him, everything, both joy and pain, had a purpose in shaping our soul. He once reflected, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles are not there to destroy us, they are there to teach us. By transforming hardship into wisdom, we turn every experience into a step toward growth. For Marcus Aurelius, loving one's fate was the highest form of strength, to look at life as it is, and still say, yes. Chapter 6. The Shortness of Life. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that life is brief, fragile, and constantly changing. As emperor, he witnessed the rise and fall of cities, the death of friends, and the endless cycle of human ambition. From these experiences, he learned one of his most important lessons: to live fully but without attachment. "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years, he wrote. "Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." He believed that remembering our mortality was not something to fear, but something to guide how we live. Each moment could be our last, and therefore each moment must be used wisely. Instead of chasing wealth or recognition, Marcus focused on what truly mattered: virtue, kindness, and clarity of thought. He saw time as our most precious possession, one that slips away silently if we are not mindful. He observed how people waste their days worrying about things beyond their control, forgetting that the only time they truly have is the present. He urged himself, and us, to live now, to act justly now, to be courageous now. You could leave life right now, he reminded himself. Let that determine what you do and say and think. For Marcus Aurelius, awareness of death was not morbid, it was liberating. It freed him from distraction and helped him see the beauty in the simplest things: a sunrise, a friend's voice, a quiet moment of thought. To him, the shortness of life was not a tragedy. It was a reason to live with purpose. Chapter 7. The Legacy of a Wise Ruler. Marcus Aurelius died in 180 AD after nearly 2 decades as emperor. He left behind a vast empire, but his greatest legacy was not political power, it was wisdom. He never wrote for fame or approval. His meditations were private reflections, meant to guide himself in living a virtuous life. And yet, centuries later, those words continue to inspire millions around the world. "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts," he wrote. Through his life and writings, Marcus teaches us that true power is not the ability to command others, but the ability to command oneself. He showed that a leader can be compassionate, humble, and principled, even in a world of chaos and ambition. His example proves that philosophy is not just theory, it is a practice, lived every day, in the choices we make and the way we treat others. Even today, Marcus Aurelius guides us to remain calm in adversity, to act with integrity, and to embrace life with clarity and courage. He conquered not the world but himself, and that is the greatest victory of all. Chapter 8. Practical Lessons for Today. Marcus Aurelius may have lived nearly 2,000 years ago, but his wisdom is timeless. His teachings are not just philosophical ideas, they are tools we can use every day to live better, calmer, and more purposeful lives. Here are 3 practical lessons inspired by his life and writings. 1. Focus on what you can control. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Life will always bring challenges, disappointments, and uncertainty. Instead of wasting energy on what you cannot change, focus on your thoughts, actions, and choices. Example: if someone criticizes you, pause and reflect before reacting. Your response is yours to choose. 2. Embrace obstacles as opportunities. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Difficulties are not just obstacles, they are lessons. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Example: when a project fails or plans change, ask, what can I learn from this? 3. Live with purpose and awareness. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Time is limited. Every day is a gift. Focus on meaningful actions, kindness, integrity, and personal growth, rather than distractions or unnecessary worries. Example: spend time with loved ones, practice gratitude, and invest in yourself. By following these principles, we can apply Marcus Aurelius's wisdom in our modern lives. We may not face the battles of Rome, but we all face the battles of the mind. His life reminds us that true strength, peace, and happiness come not from wealth or fame, but from discipline, virtue, and the mastery of our own thoughts. Marcus Aurelius teaches us, conquer yourself, and you can face anything.